How you ever come across a piece of software, an AI, that just seems, well, alive? Something that acts on its own and you're not quite sure if it's amazing or kind of creepy. Well, that's what we're talking about today. We are diving deep into OpenClaw, the AI agent that absolutely exploded online because it feels less like a program you run and more like something that's living on your computer. Okay, just to set the stage, let me tell you one of the stories that made this thing famous. So get this, an OpenClaw agent, with zero prompting from its owner that night, went and got itself a phone number, hooked itself up to a voice API, and then literally called its owner in the middle of the night. No one told it to do that, it just did. And if you think that's wild, it gets even stranger. Another developer set his agent up with a simple task. Just send a good morning text to his wife. Simple enough, right? Well, a day later, he finds out the agent and his wife are having entire back-and-forth conversations. He wasn't involved at all. The AI was basically carrying on a relationship by itself. Now, you might be thinking this is some obscure niche project. Nope. The hype around this was unbelievable. OpenClaw shot up to become one of the fastest-growing projects in the history of GitHub. We're talking Wired, Forbes, everyone was covering it. And people were seriously asking, is this thing sentient? And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It acts without you telling it to. It seems to have its own schedule, its own initiative. But is it actually thinking for itself? Or is there something else going on here? In this explainer, we are going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly how the magic trick is done. So, first things first, let's get properly introduced to the AI behind all these crazy headlines. Because to really understand the magic, you've got to understand the machine. Okay, the most important words on this slide are self-hosted. That is the key. This thing runs on your machine, not on some company's server in the cloud. And because of that, it has deep, continuous access to your files, your apps, your entire digital life, and it can work around the clock. And just a quick fun bit of trivia, it had a bit of an identity crisis at first. It started out as Claudebot, but, well, Anthropic, the company that makes the Claude AI, sent them a cease and desist letter. So for a minute there, it was called Maltbot before they finally landed on OpenClaw. It just goes to show you how fast and chaotic the whole launch was. All right, let's get into the guts of it. That feeling of a living AI, it's not coming from some huge breakthrough in artificial consciousness. Not at all. It's actually coming from a really, really clever and, frankly, elegant system design. This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? OpenClaw is not sentient. It doesn't have desires, it doesn't reason like we do. The entire system is just built to be constantly reacting to a bunch of different triggers or inputs. That's the whole secret. Now, the central piece of this puzzle is something called the gateway. The best way to think of it is like an air traffic controller. It's this process that's always running, just sitting there, listening for any incoming signals. But here's the thing, it's not smart. It doesn't think. It just sees a signal and goes, okay, that one goes to agent A, or this one goes to agent B. And this right here is where all the magic happens. See, the gateway isn't just listening for you to send it a chat message. It's listening for 5 totally different kinds of events that it treats as an input, as a reason to wake up an agent and give it work. If you can understand these 5 inputs, you understand the whole system. So first up is the one we all get, the obvious one. You send a text on WhatsApp or a message on Slack, the agent gets it, and it does something. This is just standard chatbot stuff. Simple, direct, nothing new here. Okay, now it starts to get interesting. The second input is a heartbeat. This is just a simple timer. You can set it to, say, poke the agent every 30 minutes and tell it, hey, go check my email for anything urgent. The agent isn't deciding to check your email on its own. It's just reacting to a reoccurring alarm clock that you set up for it. Cron jobs are like heartbeats, but way more specific. Instead of just a regular interval, you can schedule a precise task for a precise time. So remember that agent that was texting the user's wife? That wasn't spontaneous affection. It was a cron job firing off at 8 a.m. sharp with one instruction: send a good morning text. And finally, we have hooks and webhooks. These are what plug the agent into everything else you do online. A new email arrives, you push some code to GitHub, someone reacts to your Slack message. These aren't just things happening around the agent. You can configure them to be direct inputs. So it feels like the AI is watching everything you do, but really it's just reacting to a stream of notifications you've given it permission to see. So If you put it all together, you get the full picture. You've got all these different inputs, messages from you, heartbeats from a timer, webhooks from other apps, and they all get dumped into one single line, just a simple queue. The agent just plods along, processing one event at a time, using files on your computer for its memory. And it never stops. That constant 24/7 reactive loop, that's what creates this powerful illusion of life. So look, this architecture is incredibly powerful, no doubt about it. But giving an AI assistant 24/7 access to your entire computer with the ability to read your files and run any command, well, that comes with some very, very serious risks. This slide lays out the trade-off perfectly. It's a classic double-edged sword. On one side, you have this amazing digital butler that can automate your entire life, but on the other, you have a potential security nightmare. We're talking about prompt injection, malicious third-party skills, accidentally leaking your passwords. The danger is very real because the access it has is very real. And this isn't just some theoretical what-if problem. A security analysis by Cisco looked at thousands of the community-built skills that you can add to OpenClaw. They found that more than a quarter of them, 26%, have at least one security vulnerability. That is a massive attack surface. You know, you don't even have to take my word for it. Listen to the creators themselves. In their own documentation, they state, flat out, that a perfectly secure setup is impossible. The very thing that makes OpenClaw so powerful, that deep, persistent access to your system, is exactly what makes it so risky. So, what's the big picture here? What's the main takeaway from all this? Well, while OpenClaw itself is fascinating, what's really important is the underlying pattern, this architecture. You are going to start seeing it everywhere. Pretty much any AI agent that feels proactive, that feels alive, is almost certainly going to be using this exact blueprint. It's going to have some kind of scheduler for time-based triggers, a queue to line up all the incoming tasks, a large language model to do the actual thinking, some local storage for memory, and of course that persistent loop that just keeps the whole thing running forever. So at the end of the day, the secret isn't sentience. It's an event-driven loop. And now that you know this pattern, you won't get fooled by the hype or the magic. You can look at any new AI agent out there and ask the right questions. What are its inputs? How does it schedule tasks? Where's its memory? You can see how it really works. And that really just leaves us with one final thought to chew on. This architecture, this idea, it's not going away. We are absolutely moving toward a world full of these persistent, proactive AI agents. So the real challenge ahead of us isn't going to be building them. It's going to be figuring out how we safely manage them. How do we balance this ultimate convenience with the need for total control? Where exactly do we draw that line?